Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show. We have an early start tonight, so we can fly through the stocks real quick and then try to watch the Trump, whatever it is. I guess it's just a speech to Congress, I guess. And we'll watch that and have a little listening party and a little commentary, and I'll let you know what I think about it, obviously. So let's go ahead and see what's going on. And the markets did close, and the SPY was trying to run back up in the after hours. I'm not completely convinced, but obviously we're gonna have to see what he says tonight. It did run back up like $4.48 to like 581, but I think it was pulling back there at some point. Let me see, 580. So yeah, it does say 580 on this. And like I said, it could be trying to bottom out there tomorrow. We'll see if today was its bottom, and we'll go through everything. I'll go through the SPY, the big caps, and all that first, and then we'll go through what we can, and then we'll go ahead and watch the Trump speech right here. So here we go. Let's get rocking and rolling. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. And like I said, the SPY, it closed at 576.86, and then it started to run up in the after hours to about 581, but then pulled back. It's at 580.42, and the market should have just closed at about 8 o'clock for the most part. Obviously, there's overnight hours, but that should be about 580.42 for that close. And that bottom right there was nice at 572, and we definitely played that right going into today. And again, we'll keep an eye on it and see what's going on. I don't, like I said, I think it might touch that bottom tomorrow and then start bouncing back up. So let's go ahead and look at the rest of the big caps, Mag 7, everybody else. We'll get cruising. Here we go. Let's rock and roll it. Apple right here. And let's see, it was down 210, and that one looks like it. Let me see real quick what Apple is doing in the after hours here. Yeah, it wants to set up, honestly. It did pull back, and again, if it gets curled up real quick as that 20's curling up to that 50, if it can pull it up right there, it could cross right back through and go nutty. It depends, obviously, what Trump says tonight. That's all the time now. Every word he says, the market reacts, big reactions, and then you have to figure out what's happening. So we do see some of the setups early, but he just on a Sunday morning will just post tweet out about crypto, and things can go crazy. So it is wild, and that's what's going on. And so we have to play the market accordingly. Amazon looks like it could have bottomed out there today at that 197. So it is been touching the bottom, and we've been watching it pull back and saying it was going to be down here. And I think Amazon may have been bottomed out there, so we will definitely be keeping an eye on Amazon for tomorrow because that's looking pretty decent. Google was running up today, and that looks like it tried to bottom out. Remember, we were talking about Google and Amazon, the two of them. Well, Google looks like it might have and is trying to curl back up, so keep an eye on Google, GOOG. And we never look at GOOGL, but basically the same setup, and 170. And it is weird they have two of them, but whatever. And they both look the exact same. And Meta was pulling back $15. And I think Meta could pull back a little bit more, to be honest with you. So Meta had that huge run up, and maybe Zuck's pulling back right now. So it will be bullish, but let it pull back at the moment. So I think Meta may be coming down right there. And let's look at our Microsoft and see what's happening here with Microsoft. That could be a bottom right there. I don't know though, because it tried to curl through once and twice there, and it came back down. It's not showing me that it exactly wants to get moving for Microsoft yet. Let me see. I mean, it sometimes is that bottom look, and it did try to curl through. We'll look at them tomorrow, obviously. Maybe they try to bounce up tomorrow, hit that MACD, and pull back again. We know it's been doing that a lot, but Amazon and Google seem to be the two that are down there and kind of set up and ready to roll so far. And that was Microsoft and Nvidia. That one was actually up $1.93. And this one, it's just pulling back right there, trying to jump up again. I'm not so sure it's ready yet to be popping up, but maybe it was its bottom today. We'll look at it tomorrow at 108 right there, 108.85. It's at 117.96. So we will take a look at Nvidia and all of them in the morning and see how they react to this speech tonight to Congress. And that's obviously what we're looking at. But I do think Amazon, Google will be moving. regardless. And Tesla right here, I mean, obviously they could pull back, but they are set up. And Tesla's in the basement pulling back. And I think this next little turn of events is going to make it get a little more bullish right here and start rocking and rolling. And I mean, it had run up so much, people were like complaining that it's pulling back. So were you buying it all the way up here at like 480 something? I mean, Jesus, it did. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was at like 480 something, and it's way down here at 272. But the market's been a disaster, and this thing ran up like insanely. So I think you're going to get your bottom down here, and if you didn't lock in those profits as it was up there and it pulled back, I mean, what do you expect? That thing can't just run up forever. So I see a lot of people complaining about Tesla pulling back. I honestly think it's great because it's a great opportunity back down here to run it back up when it's ready. So we'll be keeping a look and an eye on Tesla to see when that is ready, of course. And AMC, let's keep on cruising here. That was up 3 cents. It did finish up. I didn't even see that, but let me take a look and see in the after hours here. AMC. That, I mean, again, they crossed through. This one was over, crossed down. Yeah, it could pop back up. They're the only ones that do it. And that does look like it tried to bottom out there at 295. But again, they like to cross up, try to hit that MACD and pull back further. You could see that happening. So we have to look at AMC and see what it wants to do in the morning, especially after this speech. GameStop was down a little bit, just kind of running around. And again, not really showing me that it's really ready to get rocking and rolling yet. So we'll keep an eye on that GameStop GME. And let's look at good old Chewy because that was down as well. And I know it took a nice dip. And again, look how many times it tried to curl up. One, two, three. We're going to go on the fourth one. That's when it's going to come through. So there you go. It's just following that same pattern. And that's why some of these other ones, I'm not so confident that they're going to roll. Now, Unity, on the other hand, the letter U, is over the MACD. It's crossed over. Not looking bad right there to try to roll off that MACD. It could do it, so it doesn't look bad. We should keep an eye on that letter U, the good old Unity right there. So keep an eye on Unity software, and that one actually is not looking too bad at the moment. And let's take a look at Netflix right here and see what that's up to. It is down $1.12 and pulling back. And again, it's hitting that 50. And I don't know if it's exactly ready to get popping yet, but we will surely take a look at it. It is in that channel, though, and hitting that 50. We'll have to see if it can stay up there. The 20's over it, like in the $1,000 range. So it's at 979 right now. And it did pull back down to like 948. So, I mean, that's a nice little dip and just a pop up right there. An easy little swing trade right there during the day. So that is Netflix. And let's see what AVGO and our semiconductors are doing. It was up 11 cents. Now, this one appears to be getting set up right here. It all depends if it really can, and the semiconductors will. I'll keep an eye on them tomorrow as well. And again, it's all going to come down to what Trump's talking about tonight. But this one, they have earnings coming up. What is that? Thursday, March 6th, and it's looking pretty good right here to try to get set up. And it hasn't tried to curl up a whole lot of times, but it came down to the bottom, and it is getting set up right there. I do like AVGO to try to get set up, so I'm going to just put a little mark near that. Not looking too bad. Let's see what MU, the rest of the semiconductors, are up to. That one is up 66 cents, and it is just pulling back right there. They have earnings coming up at the end of the month towards on the 20th, so that's in like 2 Thursdays from now. And yeah, it's just pulling back right there for MU. Let me take a look at the after hours right here. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if that is the bottom right there because they do pull back and hit like a nice support line, but they could pull back a little bit more. I'm not saying they can't. So obviously, we'll be keeping an eye on all these. And that is MU. TSM, let's see what that's up to. I know it was up 703 and moving today. And again, this one's tried to curl up multiple times. And we'll see if this time it actually does get curled up and try to move. That does look like it's tried to bottom out there today. I'm not going to lie, at that 171. We're at 181 right, or that was yesterday at 171. Today it got down to 172.51, and it's back at 181. And yeah, it does kind of look like that would be be a bottom, but again, these things they come up and they can definitely fool you. So we have to make sure that they're definitely moving up. But that does look like TSM could want to move off of that spot. So I'm going to put a dot next to that just to keep an eye on that tomorrow morning as well. And SMCI was running up here. And this one, I mean, it doesn't even look like it really wants to run up that crazy, to be honest with you. I was looking at it today, like it could still pull back tomorrow. So, or it could stay in this little channel, the 20s there at 44, but I'm not so sure. So, another one, just keeping an eye on SMCI. I was looking at it today, and like I said, I was waiting for it to try to do something, and it was just running around. I'm not going to lie. SMCI 35.99, it got up to 40.98, and it closed at 40, so 40.91. So it closed up there with some momentum. So that's what I'm saying. I have to look at that one tomorrow, and it's not showing me that it really wants to curl up completely, but it is popping up there. So interesting look. AMD, that one looks like it could be the bottom. And again, this one's just trying to curl up almost for like the first or second time here. So sometimes they look good until they try to get there the next day. So we're obviously looking at AMD tomorrow too, because it really does look like it could be its bottom. But again, these things really have to move after this speech tonight. It has to be pretty good. So we'll obviously be looking at all of these first thing in the morning too at 7 a.m. I don't think we're gonna see. Well, we'll look at the overnight reaction after the speech to Congress and see if we get an idea if things are moving right afterwards. QCOM right here trying to curl up. It's not really curling up yet, but it's making a nice little base down here. Let me look at it. QCOM is 154 up to 157, and it's at 156.30 right now. And yeah, it is making a nice little base. Maybe that was the bottom. Like I said, that's trying to curl up, and it could very well hit that MACD another time and bounce down. So we have to take a look at them, and we know we have to be extremely patient. That's why I just keep saying that, because we already know that look that it takes 3 or 4 times to get through. Will that change after the speech? We will look at it, but it hasn't changed, so we definitely have to go with it. Intel did pull back quite a bit today and looks like it wants to keep pulling back. So Intel came down, not sure what happened. It got into that channel, and if it can't stay up over that like 2116, it could come down even more. And that is INTC. And let's take a look at PayPal right here. That pulled back as well, and that's been dipping it into the basement right there. So there you go, a PayPal pulling back, and not Sophie, Snow, SNOW, good old Snowflake right here, and it was down a little bit. I think it went up in the after hours. That's what it says here. Let me see. Let's see what it did. 172.52 to 176, and it got down to 165.80. It's at 176.70, so it definitely ran up in them after hours, and it does look good. But then again, it did curl up like once, and it's coming up for the second time, so we know. But it does have some good support that it's bouncing off of, and so maybe that whole pattern's going to change again. It's not a very normal one, but it's been working for everything. And obviously, crypto was running up a little bit. It's pulled back some right now, and we'll go over that in a few moments. And but yeah, Snowflake pulling back, so all of them are holding that same pattern. Good old Dell was down. And then this one could be bottom, but not exactly showing us that it's ready to set up. It looks like it has a couple weeks to kind of get set up. So Dell had run up there and then came right back down, and not looking exactly perfect just at the moment. So we'll look at it. And PLTR, good old Palantir, this one's not looking too bad to hit this support line and try to get back off that 81 area. And I know it's up over that right now. It was bouncing off of there today. It's at 87.10. So that one's trying to crawl up. And again, if it doesn't get through that MACD, it's really going to come down. There's not much holding it up there. You have the 200 day at like $49. So this could literally come down in like the 60s somewheres if it doesn't get held up and get bouncing off of that support line right now. And that's your PLTR. And how about Sophie right here? Good old SOFI. And another one that pulled back. And again, not showing me that it wants to pop up. It looks like it's setting up for a couple days or a week away, which isn't helping it today. But it did pull back down to that 1223. It's at 1334. So definitely want to keep an eye on tomorrow. Mara, that was actually up, and these ones are setting up, guys. And these ones have been bouncing off that MACD. It's about to hit it. It should try to curl through. We'll find out. Again, it all depends on the speech tonight, but it's catching some good momentum and a good curl up there. You have your 20 up here at 1548. We're at 1425. It definitely has to get through that and get into that channel if it has any thought of trying to move, but it is trying to get set up, so it better get moving real soon. Maybe it's waiting for Friday for that White House summit because that's supposed to be pretty wild too. So who the heck knows what it's waiting for, but something's going on right there. And remember when I was saying something was happening with crypto, right? There you go. I would say we nailed that as well because remember, I was a couple weeks before and you could see something going on. I didn't know what the heck was happening, but you could tell something was happening. And that thing did a huge dips, big rips, back to dips, gonna rip. And I would say that was definitely something going on in crypto right there. So I think we nailed that as just as well as Walgreens. I mean, that's still crazy that we mentioned that one and knew that that was happening from the charts. And that just shows you how accurate these charts are. Riot is pulling back down 45 cents and dipping down. It may even get into that basement right there. I got to see what that did in the after hours. RIOT. Whoop. RIOT. There we go. And yeah, it's kind of hitting a support line down there. So maybe it is them bottoms. Who knows? We'll look at them. And obviously, we do have that crypto summit coming up at the White House on Friday. And I think Michael Sayer did tweet out that he was getting invited there. And that thing was up 24, 25 hours today. And again, it's just trying to curl up. And I don't trust them because we know this look. So unless they start changing and not following this pattern that we've known, and they did. I mean, they're looking much better on the curl up too. I have to say, they're not curling up like they kind of were. They're kind of getting some momentum, so maybe they will. But I'm not 100% guaranteeing it or sure. I'm not really positive that they're going to do it. So we know that we have to look at them and see if they're going to do it because if they don't, they definitely pull back and you get a really good dip opportunity on anything that does it. And it's been following the pattern for everything. So again, I'm not convinced yet that they're ready to rock and roll. CLSK down 3 cents. It looks like it was up a little in the after hours, and another one just trying to get curled up here. So we'll have to take a look at the CLSK, that clean spark. And once these crypto ones start ripping, these will look great. And again, it's setting up pretty nice. So we will have to take a look at it. Maybe it's going to do a quick setup tomorrow, come back down and go cruising for Friday. I'm not exactly sure because these things have been all over the place, and it all depends on, I guess, what he is saying tonight. So we'll look at that and see what he says in about 40 minutes there. And let's rock and roll right through these bad boys. And Coinbase, that was up today. And another one, it's getting that really nice curl up off the bottom, but I'm not completely convinced it's ready to just completely rock and roll. Maybe it's making a base down here and it's getting ready, and it could easily try to curl up in the next day or so, pull itself back. But again, it could easily get curled up and try to run through in the next few days. DJT did pull back like $1 today, and that has one of them weird looks in the basement, like it wants to get moving or do something. Let's put it that way. And it's way down here in the 2150. It came back up to 2237. And yeah, that does have that little it wants to dip and rip kind of look out of the basement. So we'll keep an eye on DJT and good old fun PHUN. That one wants to come out of the basement now. Remember, this one was trying to set up before and everything became a disaster. And this one just crossed through coming down and does look like it wants to come out of the basement. If it does that, I have a feeling it could run through that MACD coming out and get moving. So again, we got to keep an eye on all these. They just setting up and you just really have no idea what a speech happening tonight. And MTN, this thing has been a disaster. Val Resorts, it's been falling off. Maybe it's just getting set up for these earnings to run after because they are March 10th, which is next Monday. So we're watching this thing. It's trying to curl up right here, and it does look like it's finally making a base down there. So we'll keep an eye on MTN, see when that wants to get rolling. good old McDonald's actually looked way better. Well, it moved. Let's put it this way. It moved up today. It looked like it wanted to pull back. If this thing can make like a hard curl up, and I'm not convinced it can, but it does look much better. If it can do it and keep that momentum, it went 303 to 312 today. I was impressed. And then it closed at 309. If it does curl through and keep momentum, if they're like eat McDonald's tonight at this press conference, this thing could get blasting off. I don't know why, but just looks like it kind of wants to run, but then at the same time it could dip down. So I don't know what's going on with McDonald's right there. And but yeah, we're gonna have to keep an eye on it, that's for sure, because it wants to do something right there. And I'm just, it's teetering. So I don't want to say it wants to go up or down. We'll have to reevaluate it and see what it wants to do. How about Boeing? Remember, I told you guys it was coming down. How about like 11 plus dollars? It came down over 6% today. So that was a good one. You could have shorted that one right down. And it may still come down 170 down to 156. It's at 161 right there. So there you go with Boeing. And we'll see. It may get into the basement tomorrow. So we'll see. If not, it'll bounce up and it'll be a good bounce play coming back up. And that is your Boeing right there. And let's look at space. This thing has been a nightmare, and it is down there. Space Galactic or Virgin Galactic. It's SPCE. It's curled through, coming down in the basement, and we'll just have to take a look at it and see when it wants to get set up. IBM did pop back up, but again, not completely convinced it is ready. So you might just have like a parachuting up and then some more pullback. So not completely convinced that these bad boys are ready to pop back up all the way. Disney, that was pulling back today, pulling down, and looks like it may pull back some more. So we'll have to keep an eye on Disney unless it can hold itself up on the MACD. And I'm not so sure it can. It went like 112 down to 108. It's at 109.70. So that's DIS, good old Disney, and Oxy. This one was up just a hair, but it had that nice pullback yesterday sitting on that support. And another one, I'm not convinced that it's really ready to get rocking and rolling. So I'll keep an eye on it and see. It's not even like curling up really. So we'll see what Oxy wants to do. And then ExxonMobil was down another 22 cents today. And the same situation, curling through, coming down. They were looking good the other day. They ran up for like one day and came right down. So this market is like all over the place, guys, and you really have to play them like almost daily and fast. I don't know what's really long term, but we're not really long term on here anyway, but these ones are moving really quick, even like Exxon Mobil's and stuff like that, moving extremely fast. Nike was down $1.09, and that one's pulling back. We'll see. It could hold itself up, though. It's coming down to the MACD. Their earnings are March 20th, so they're coming up, but not exactly right at the moment. So that could get rolling back off the MACD and run up. And that DXYZ, let me type it in here, DXYZ. There we go. Destiny Tech, and that could be a bottom. It was down a dollar. I don't know though. Again, it's hitting that bottom, but doesn't look like it wants to curl up yet. And yeah, they get that bottom look and keep on pulling back. So, like I'm telling, I'm not convinced any of these are really ready to rock and roll. Maybe Amazon and Google could. They are trying to get set up. And again, I guess it all depends on what Trump says. And that's in about a half hour, a little longer than a half hour there. And I'll put it on the YouTube, the Associated Press thing. So I have it up already, and I just looked at it, and yeah, they're just kind of rolling in there, I guess, and it says Trump's speech set to begin at 9 p.m. So if anyone sees it come on, keep me posted because I have the sound off, so I have no idea, and we'll keep rocking and rolling and seeing what's going on real quick. I'll look at crypto real fast, then we'll go through some of these smaller cap ones, and then we can try to run through the rest of them there. So here we go. Let's take a look and see what's going on with our crypto and see what's happening here. Bitcoin's at 86,935. And let's see what Solana's at. It says it's at 142. They were looking pretty good earlier. They were starting to pull back a little bit. So we'll have to keep an eye on them. And again, you have a crypto summit coming up Friday. So I'd imagine they want to run. Ethereum's at 2,164. So 2,164. Not too bad right there. Ripple's at $2.45. And let's see what our good old friend Cardano's at 93. And let's see, I think we have a couple other ones. I think Doge will pop up here. And again, I'm looking at the old stock cube, just curling up, kind of scrolling up here, and that's under 20 cents, it says. So let me look at these charts real quick, tell you what they look like, and then we'll go ahead and keep on cruising here. So here we are with our crypto. And again, Bitcoin 87,000. And let me see what this chart looks like at the moment. I mean, at the moment, it is trying to just run a little bit flat. Again, they were trying to curl up, hit the MACD, kind of went flat right here. And I could see them pulling back until about Friday. And like I said, everything is hitting that MACD and pulling back. Let's look at a couple other ones. Ethereum 2,172. And it's obviously bounces around. And it is down there, trying to make a little base down there. And the same thing, it was trying to curl up, and now it's pulling back right there. So not looking exactly like perfect, but again, it will probably get rolling relatively soon. And you do have a summit coming up Friday, and saw what happened Sunday morning. I mean, that was pretty nutty. And Solana, let's look at that one, just kind of sitting right there, a little bit of pullback, and it's actually crossed through right there and running flat on it. So Solana could just roll up and just go crazy if he said something wild. I mean, it's not saying it wants to, but it's in the spot where it could. And Cardano's at what, 93 right there. So let's take a look at that one, Cardano. And that one is, like I said, that one's up and over that 50 right there. Not looking too bad. And yeah, it's run up there, but I could see it trying to pull back because it did run up so much. So we'll have to see what the Cardano wants to do. Did have that pullback right there. And we'll take a look at Ripple at 246. And let's see what Ripple's up to. And it is trying to Ripple looks like it's trying to get set up to run a little bit more. It could pull back. It's like right there giving you mixed signals, so it doesn't know what it wants to do, but you know it's going to be doing something, and I would imagine it's going to be popping. Just look for some pullback on Ripple. It's at 247, and let me see. Let me look at that H bar because that one's been looking really good lately. And I know we've been talking about it's at 24 cents right here. It's been up like 9% or something. And let's see what it's doing right here. This is a US one, and it looks pretty good right there. So H bar not looking bad at the moment. So keep an eye on that H bar right there. Looking pretty good for your crypto. And there you go. We did our Mag 7, our SPY, our big caps, and our crypto. Let me go ahead and run through some of these penny stocks. We can probably run through a bunch of them real quick. In 30 minutes, we can bang through that list for the most part. And then I can always run through the laptop travel and Jolie's jumpers right there at the end after we're in between something. Uh, So here we go. Let's get cruising here, OCEA, and we'll watch the old Trump speech. And again, it's a speech to Congress, so we'll see what he has to say to everybody. And let's rock and roll OCEA. Let's see. That one's still setting up in a great spot, guys. And I would look at it tomorrow. It's in a better spot than it's been. And obviously we've been watching it with that pullback, and I kind of like it in that spot right there. So I would say definitely, guys, especially you 4 a.m.ers, keep an eye on that OCEA, laptop travel and crew. That one is looking real good at that spot right there. I could see that one trying to pop up. TRNR was popping back up today. Remember, I was saying I didn't understand why it even pulled back yesterday. And again, it still looks pretty good to try to get running some more. So keep your eye on this thing tomorrow, guys. TRNR, it could very well get cruising. And remember, we were talking about this thing could like really get running again. So it's at 255. It pushed up there over 3 the other day to like almost $4. And this thing could get cruising. So keep your eye on TRNR and SYRS. Remember this bad boy? We were talking about it, saying it wanted to get set up. It took some really nice dips the last few days there. And now we are in the basement, and I've been watching it, and I did see it kind of move a little bit today. We'll keep an eye on it. It went from 8 to 13, and then it actually closed at 12 right there. So not looking bad. Again, I don't know if it's going to cross through. It's going to try. It wants to get out of that basement. We're just going to see if it pulls back, but it's been dipping down. And again, it might be a good opportunity. We'll see if it wants to pull back anymore. But that is at SYRS. And LRHC, this was moving a little bit today. I know that. I did see it try to move, and it did pull back as well. Let me look at it. LRHC, because I think I only saw it kind of moving up, but it did have a nice dip right there to 18, and then it closed at that 21. So it did get up to 22. I remember I saw it. I was like, oh, it's a penny over the where it opened at. Perfect. And I guess I missed all the other action there, so I must have looked at it at the right time when it was up, because it did pull back to 18. It closed at 21, but you can see that nice pullback right there. So that is LRHC, and maybe that's its bottom. And again, this thing was getting held up by the market conditions. It was really set up not long ago. It kind of had to reset itself up. So your 20's back up at around 25 cents, and we'll see what can happen with it. And that is your LRHC. And let's take a look and see what our S dot is doing here. SDOT down 6 cents. This actually pulled back today, coming down to that 20. It looks like it wants to stay in this channel, so it could pop back up, and we'll keep an eye on it. It does look like it's going to try to roll back off the MACD, so keep an eye on that. It could get cruising. It's in that channel, and that stock could get running back up there. And good old AIM, we've been talking about this thing, and it is still getting set up, guys. It does look like it wants to get rolling, so keep your eye on AIM. I know we've been watching this thing, and it is looking pretty good right there, I must say. I would definitely be watching it. That 20 is right there at 14 cents. And AIM is not looking too bad right there, I must say. Yeah, it's looking much better. And you can see it's getting closer to getting set up. Obviously, we're always watching for pullback, but it's not looking bad. And how about Clue was jumping up today, obviously, after the reverse split. But you don't know. This thing could get wild tomorrow. So keep an eye on this Clue. We were looking at it after the reverse split. We were talking about it, and that's CLEU. And what it do? It went 260 to 389. It closed at 330. That 20 is up here. It's at like $8. And you'd be surprised though. This thing could get cruising right back up. These things are wild, these China ones. So they did just reverse split it, and they couldn't make it. They dilute it, and then they make them run. They make these things do the craziest things, guys. So that is your Clue. And what was the other one? LICN, because that was up as well. I forgot to write it down. Still in the basement there, but this one might be a good one to look at as well. And now it's up at $6 right now. LICN, they also reverse split this one. So let's see. It could get rolling up there and look much better. So we will keep an eye on Clue and also LICN. But yeah, Clue might really get moving tomorrow, guys. It could actually get popping, so you might actually get lucky if you were in that reverse split, and it gets popping up there. You might be up in the profits there, because that thing could get ripping. And I'm not saying it definitely will, but you know these things can. It has that look like it certainly could definitely do it. OCGN. Let's look at that one. Pull back like a penny. We know their earnings are pretty much tomorrow. So yeah, I was gonna say pretty much this week, in the next day or so, and it is just pulling back there. We'll see what their earnings say, and then again, I think after this dip down, the entire chart's gonna become pretty bullish. So keep an eye on it. Watch it for its pullback. We'll get it at its bottom, and then I think we'll catch that bad boy going back up. And there you go. So I think. Mac the cranky cook like that. I honestly get so in the zone. I do the spaces through my phone. I have the phone up, and I really don't. I just get way into these things, and I forget to even look over. And then I have the other screen set up now with the Twitter. It's way easier for me to be able to see things. So now I can actually see if I look over. And again, I don't even look at that screen. I just get like zoned in. So I apologize if you guys like post anything, or do anything. I don't even notice it. I'm just kind of in my world, just doing these bad boys. But I did just see that. I just happened to look over, and again, my peripheral vision's terrible too. So I used to be able to see all that shit, but I can't see anything. I just look straight ahead of me, and that's it. I'm lucky I can see that now. So you guys hear me when I try to read, and yeah, you get hit like I did. It definitely messes up your brain, but whatever. It's all good. I'll just stay in the matrix and the stock charts. Just wanted to say, if you guys like post like a high five or a thumbs up or anything and I just miss it, I'm not ignoring you guys. I just miss it. I'm telling you. So I just don't even see them. But OCGN, I'm telling you, I'm just keeping my eye on it, and I'll let you know when this thing gets reversed around. We'll look at it tomorrow for its earnings and see what it wants to do. It's going to probably do this three banger to the MACD like everything else, I would imagine, unless that pattern changes up, but I don't see it changing up yet. And this MPW is pulling back, but we definitely ran that up like 2 days. That was a nice one. And we'll see. It's trying to get stuck up there at the top, like it would like to bounce back up. I can't promise you, but just take a look at it in the morning, guys, because if that one stays up there and gets a nice bounce, it'll probably run back up higher than its high was the other day, which was like $6 or at 566. So that is MPW, and it's not looking good, right? Or it is looking good to try to bounce up, but like I said, it is coming back down out of the top. So okay. See, I told you I can't even read. OKLO. This bad boy is trying to get set back up, and again, it's just kind of getting set up. I don't know if today's its bottom. They all have that weird look, like they are obviously waiting for this speech to Congress to see what to do. And we'll obviously look at it. It's been stair stepping down for a little while. That 20's curling down. So I'm not so convinced it's ready to roll yet, but I will look at it. It was up $1.54. It was trying to bounce today. A bunch of them did kind of have that little bounce. So we will keep an eye on that, obviously. Okay. LO right there. And good old UPS, that was down. I think you're coming back to your 20 possibly, and that's at 115. I'm not even sure why it came down. Yeah, I have no idea. UPS, let me see if I see anything right here. Nah, it just kind of pulled back. I guess it ran up yesterday. It wasn't ready to get up to that 50. It's going to stay in this channel. Like I said, you may see it come back into the 115 area right there for UPS. And we've been looking at that one, but also we've been looking at LMT, and that one pulled back. Remember, I was telling Luis Rodriguez, make sure it gets over that spot. It jumped over it, but it couldn't hold that area. It kind of jumped up and just wicked real quick to 463 today. It's back at about 450. Lockheed Martin. And I wasn't so sure it could get really popping, and that could have really kind of topped out for the moment and pulled back a little bit. And again, that's at 463. And right now you're at 450. We'll look at it, and obviously it kind of depends on what Trump's saying, but it does at the moment look like it wants to pull back a hair, and it didn't look like it wanted to blow right through that spot and get cruising. So that's why I was saying that last night, to just be careful of that one area. And it did get over it, but it wasn't like real good momentum. It just kind of spiked up quick, came back down. So it was a good spot to get selling. But yeah, there you go. It's kind of did what we wanted now. Like I said, we'll look at it, see if it can get cranking again, but just didn't look like it today. And good old Elf, it's down here in the basement, and it does look like it wants to try to roll off this MACD. We'll look at it and see. I think it might be that bottom right there. And again, this thing came way down there. It was trying to get set up. It ran up a little bit and then came right back down. So I actually think ELF could be trying to get set back up. That's ELF. For those of you like me that can't spell ELF, it's ELF. And but it is ELF Beauty, and it's not looking bad right there. And our advanced auto parts right here is pulled back, way back into the basement. And again, this thing tried to curl up. And remember, this was the one, advanced auto parts might be the one that really tipped me off with that look, because I was watching it like, man, it wants to get cruising. And then all of a sudden, I just noticed, like, hey, it's not busting through that spot. And then it occurred to me that, like, every chart started to do it, no matter what I was looking at. So it might have been the first one that really gave me that look. And here we are, way down here at 34.58. And I'll tell you exactly where we were. We were right here on this green candle, and its high was 46.07. So that's a big difference right there. And we knew right there, we're like, whoa, I don't know if it's really going to get cruising right there. And obviously, it hit that moment, it hit that resistance at 45.97 right in that area. And obviously came way down into the 34. So there you go with AAP, and it is what the charts were saying. So we'll watch it to get set up. But I do remember that was pretty much the case what happened, and I kind of saw it on this one. That's why it kind of stayed on the list because of that one. So there you go for AAP. And TTD, this one, that trade desk, I think you might be getting a, oh man, this one is curling up really, really good, honestly. I don't see these fish hooks like this, I think can go through. I mean, I'm not saying I'm an expert and I can guarantee it, but I can say that TTD has a good chance to try to bust through there and get cruising right there. So let's keep an eye on that one because that has some movement. It's at 67. This thing was like up in the $120 range not long ago in like the beginning of February. So thing took a major dip right there. And yeah, I think it is trying to get rolling. It's been in the basement long enough for something like this. And just going back, I can't even find it in the basement one time. Up right there, I did. Here we go. November 9th. I don't even know what year that is. Let's see. What year could that be? 2022. So yeah, we're talking, I had to go back a couple years just to see this thing get into the basement. We're not even talking long. Yeah, it does not like the basement very much. It likes to run in the top, but not definitely not the basement. And towards the top, it likes that, but it doesn't like the bottom and basement. So yeah, we're watching TTD, guys. Keep this on your radar, and I think it's going to be a pretty good one right there. UOKA. How about that one, guys, this morning? Because I know that ran up really good in the pre-market there, 16 to 26, and then it closed under where it opened at 15. So there you go. I know Barbara smacked it out of the park. Who else? Scott did. A few other people nailed this one. Like I told you guys, the setup was perfect right there. It was in the right spot, and it was going to run, and it certainly did. And honestly, you might want to look at it tomorrow just to see. I'm not going to guarantee anything because it does spike up like this. But maybe if it tries to get green or cranking, maybe it does try to keep moving. It doesn't look like it wants to, but I mean, there's always a chance for it. But UOKA, I mean, that was a home run right there. And LGMK, good old logic mark. This was trying to get set up. It's crossing through, looking not bad. And what was it doing? 18, and it came down a little bit. I thought it was, yeah, it was right there. I'm telling you, this thing's getting set up. Good old LGMK. So keep an eye on Logic Mark right there. And Hepe, let's look at Hepe right here. That one's down there. Oh, nice pull back into the basement. Let's see if that one wants to bounce off that MACD right there. That looks like it's going to be its bottom down there at 8 cents. And that's where patience really pays because I think that could be a good one right there. And especially at that 8 cents where it pulled back to. So keep an eye on HEPA, good old Hepe. And let's see DGLY. Digital Ally, and this guy is down at the basement. And hey, oh man, that was in a really good spot too, and it pulled back. Maybe it's going to be a really nice dip and rip right here. DGLY, I would absolutely keep an eye on it. It went from 7 to 6. It's like right under 7. It's like 6.5 right now. I didn't think it was at 7. It is at like 6.5. And yeah, I would keep an eye on this. It was in a really good spot and took a good old dip. I want to see what that's up to tomorrow. And how about our CDT right here? That good old Conduit Pharmaceuticals. Yep, Conduit Pharmaceuticals. This was trying to move this morning as well. So let's see what it did. It went 128 to 166, and it closed at 114. It got down to 106. So another one ran up, And another one, I believe Barber knocked out of the park right there early this morning. And again, it was run up. Your Finviz only has it going from 115 to 118 down to 106 at 113. And this bad boy definitely ran up to 166 this morning at 4 a.m. or a little after 4 a.m. because, like I said, we had listeners definitely hitting it and smacking it out of the park. So there you go at CDT. And it did run early in the morning right there. So beauty right there. Good job for that one. And APLD, Applied Digital Corp. And this one just looks like it was trying to, again, trying to bottom out, but I'm not so sure it is. I'll look at it tomorrow. It is hitting a little support down here, so I have to see what's going on with that. I don't even know what that is, to be honest with you. It's just a line on here for whatever. Um, yeah, I'm not even sure. It is I'm not sure what that. I guess that's just a trend line. I don't even know what the hell that line is, but it's just hitting something down here, and it's trying to anyway. So, like I said, I'll keep an eye on these things, and they do look like they are trying to bottom out, but I'm not convinced they're ready to pop back up, and you could still see some dippage in them, obviously. NIVF, let's see what that's up to right here. Oh, that's pulling back into the bait. Oh, that had a nice dip right there. I would absolutely keep an eye on this one too. NIVF. I know it recently reverse split, and now it kicked that dip down to 106. It's at 140. It opened at 153. And yeah, that one's in one of them spots where it wants to kind of catapult up. It just got into the basement, but slightly. In one of them spots, like I said, it could bounce up off that MACD. Keep an eye on that one. NIVF. I know we caught that on a popper not long ago, but it is looking good now. So we will certainly keep an eye on that tomorrow. And it looks like people are still just strolling in here or something. I don't see them doing anything yet, so that's cool. And we'll keep on rocking and rolling right through our list. SLNH, there we go. SLNH. Here we are with Soluna Holdings. And this bad boy is oh, this is looking much better to pull basically base out and try to get set up right here. I know we've been watching it, somebody's been mentioning it, and I think that one's trying to get set up, guys. So keep an eye on that Soluna SLNH looking much better, and we will keep an eye on that. How about that PGHL? Primja Group Holdings or whatever it's called, and let's see what they're doing. It's just been running down here. Had a nice dip today. A lot of beautiful dip and rips, huh? We've been definitely saying that. 71 down to 66. It's at 68. And again, we'll see if it's ready to rock and roll, but it definitely had that little dip and rip look. So keep an eye on it. That's at PGHL. And we'll see if that is what that's doing. And like I said, we'll definitely look at that. And sober, a lot of people wanted to look at SOBR after this big dip today. I did see it pulling back, as a matter of fact. And I was wondering why everyone wanted to look at it because I saw it just pulling back, crossing down. Do I think it's ready to rock and roll? I'm not so sure, guys. I think it might see some more dipping into that basement. So it had a really nice dip yesterday. I remember seeing that. And then it just kept on dipping down today. So SOBR. I'm not so sure it's safe. It's sober safe just yet. I'll look at it in the morning and see. It is in one of them spots, but I think it's far enough down where it's not really going to pull itself back up. It obviously could. Anything happens in this market. It's pretty wild. But yeah, I'm not so sure. Like I said, a lot of people had mentioned it. Unless it has some kind of crazy news tomorrow and it crawls right up and just gets wild. But other than that, it looks like it's pulling back to me. SOBR. So we'll look at that tomorrow. Let me just write that one down because, like I said, a couple of people asked about it, and I did see it dip down. And I was wondering, I was like, dude, I don't know if we're looking at it as a probably more of a a bounce play, but I don't think it is. This AGH is like brand new. Took a dip today. I'd have to look at it today or tomorrow. Came down like $1.40. Where was it at? It was like up in the five something. Wow, this thing took a crazy dip. AGH, it is brand new. Yesterday it went 554 down to 187, and then today it's like down in the 69 cent. It's at 99 now. So I'll have to look at it. It's like I said, it just opened up. It looks like on February 12th. So hard to see anything right there. and I'll look at it tomorrow just to see if I get a good idea of what it can do. How about that boil right there? It was like over like 106 or something. It could be hitting its top. I'm not so sure though. I mean, these things keep hitting things and going up, and the other ones are going down. It could go up a little bit more, but yeah, it got up to like 107 today. It opened at 87, and I believe we were looking at it in like the 40s, guys. It's well over 100% for where we were looking at it. I was telling you guys Boyle was going to get warm, and cold KOLD was cooling off, and KOLD went way down and Boyle went way up. And yeah, we were looking at cold back here in November when it was all the way up here at like 70, $80, and now it's at 18. And your Boyle, we were looking at that when at that same time and saying that they were going to change directions. And in November, Boyle was down here at about 30 something, 36 and 35 area, and now it was over 100 today. So there you go. I would say we nailed them bad boys pretty good, and that was Boyle and cold. ASTS wasn't looking bad. That AST Space Mobile, and this thing keeps trying to curl back up. Again, not exactly convinced it wants to get flying, but it did look pretty good today. I don't know if they had more good news, but yeah, it's trying to curl up and hit that MACD again and again. We just know that look, so I'm not exactly convinced, but we'll look at it tomorrow because it did try to pop up there and look better. Plug PLUG, we've been talking about. I think they finally had their earnings yesterday. They did. Yeah, yesterday, and this thing looks like it's much better. So we were waiting for them earnings right there for Plug PLUG, and let's see if it's yeah, that thing could get moving. So keep an eye on that. 146 to 168. It's at 164, and that's one we've been looking at right there, PLUG. So I would keep an eye on that one and see what it wants to do. Let's see real quick. Anything going on? Nope. They look like they're still cruising in there. And I don't think anyone's ready yet. So just if anybody sees it start, just like post a comment real quick and I'll try to look over and see. And let's keep on cruising right here. Holo, do this whole list real fast. And Holo is curling up today, looking much better, but I actually think Holo might get rolling right there off that MACD. So keep an eye on Holo tomorrow. It is looking really good right there. I think you're getting set up on HOLO, and it's looking pretty sweet. So we will look at Holo, HOLO, looking nice. ARBB up 2 cents. This one ran the other day. I was thinking that somebody just posted it up, and I didn't look it up or nothing, but I was like, isn't that just recently run? But it's recently run, I guess, a couple times. It ran from like 51 to 112, and then today it went 45 to 127. I didn't even see that happen. Wait, that's not yeah, that is today, March 4th, definitely today. And yeah, so it did run today. And let's see, what does Finviz even say? It doesn't say that, does it? No, it says 45 to 52. So I didn't even notice that it ran, but it definitely did it. And I'm gonna say it might have did it in the after hours because it went up to 127 and it's at 106 right now. So looking pretty good for ARBB. Maybe that's a nice little momentum play in the morning, guys. So keep an eye on that one right there. And that is your ARBB right there. So again, not looking too bad for maybe a momentum play. XLO, let's see what that wants to do. XLO, here we are. That one looks like it's just kind of pulling back at the moment. Let me see. Yeah, that one looks like it's pulling back. I'm not so sure that one's ready to do anything at the moment. And good old Robinhood, HOOD, I think this one's going to get bottomed out. Again, they were just pulling back really, really big. And yeah, that could be its bottom down there at that 42.14. And it's at 47.25 right now. So another one. We'll just keep an eye, make sure that they are definitely going to get curled through and make sure that they're ready to rock and roll. So keep an eye on these bad boys tomorrow for sure. Then make sure we know what's going on. ALLR, this one had looked good. Yesterday it was trying to run up. It was pulling back. It is hitting that MACD. And again, it's hitting that trend line. I'm not so sure it can get through here. And I think it could pull back tomorrow, ALLR. And it is following the same suit that all of them are, that same pattern. So That's why we kind of know what's going on. People are posting that it's ready to get cruising, and we're expecting it to hit that MACD and pull back. So ADTX was just pulling back there as well, hitting that bottom line. I did see this one today. And let's just see what it's looking like. And that could be its bottom down there at that 4 cents, and it rolled back off the MACD off that bottom. I'll take a look at ADTX tomorrow and see what that wants to do. PSQH, let's see what that's up to here. PSQH, let's see, that's up oh, that one might be a good one too. Way in the basement there, PSQH. Yeah, I would keep an eye on that. That could get moving right there off that 253. It opened, I mean, 245 was its bottom. It's at 258 right now. And I would say that's not looking bad to try to get moving. PSQH not looking bad right there. And let me see, they're still walking people in, so we're not ready yet. Trump gives joint address to Congress, and it's starting at 9 p.m. and it is 8:56. So we still have 4 minutes left. Let's rock and roll. Look at this. We're gonna rock and roll. Rhyme, RIME, down 21 cents. I didn't see this either today. And that's a nice dip as well. What did that run from? I didn't even see. RIME 216, and it went to 171, closed at 201. So yeah, I didn't even see that moving today. But that is a nice pullback on RIME. So we'll keep an eye on that one as well. And let's see what else is going on here. True Golf, TRUG, good old True Golf. That looks like it might be hitting that bottom. It almost tried to cross down, but I could imagine it tries to pull itself back up. We'll see. That one's in an interesting spot right there. I have to see what True Golf wants to do tomorrow. Definitely in an interesting spot. Could be popping back up. And obviously have to look at it. BlackBerry. Let's see what this one. I remember it run up way up and it's pulling back. It doesn't appear that it wants to come back up yet, so I'll look at it. But yeah, it just kind of ran up to the 50 today. I'm not so sure. It's ready to run for BB BlackBerry, so I'll look at it tomorrow, see if it does. AVGO, we already looked at Broadcom, and again, it is trying to get set up, but I'll look at these guys tomorrow morning, especially after this. And EBGL, isn't that supposed to be edible? I bet it's supposed to be Edible Gardens because they just had a reverse split. Was it yesterday? March 3rd? Yeah. And it is in the basement right there for EDBL. And I will look at it tomorrow off that reverse split right there. CYCU, this one is trying to get curled up right there. And we will look at it again. It's not ready yet. So these things bounce around as they're getting curled up right here. So we will take a look at it. Not looking terrible. So see if it wants to run tomorrow. You'll know if it wants to because it'll obviously be trying to cruise. And like I said, it's coming up to that MACD right there. And let's see the market runners on our right here. ABVE, is that running up there? Let's take a look at that. ABVE, that above food ingredients. Let me see. What is this doing? Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. And that one is bottom. Oh, that one's a nice bottom right there. ABVE. You're right. We might have to look at that bad boy after today. 32 down to 25. It's at 39 and not looking bad. I have to agree with that. And yeah, some of them other bad boys at ARBB definitely running up there. SYRS and BNRG. So a couple of them I'll repost that. I'll run through this list before Trump comes on because that'll be in a few moments right here. And let's see what's going on. That was what did I just do? That B Hat. Let's look at B Hat right here. Blue Hat Interactive. That looks like it's trying to get in a good spot. Maybe not this week, but let it get set up and see if it wants to pull back. I'll look at it tomorrow and see what it wants to do right there. And let's see what AGMH wants to do right here. Let me see AGMH. That one's way pulled back down there too, AGMH. So we might have to look at that one and see if that's like trying to bottom out. It could still be trying to move down a little bit right there. So I'll take a look at it for sure. And let's see what else is going on. Hold on. Let me look at these last few right here. Bust through these guys. STSS, here we go. That was down a penny. Oh, this one could be getting set up. It's trying to anyway. We'll definitely keep an eye on this. STSS, we've been watching it anyway. Here, STSS. And yeah, it's trying to get set up right there. So we'll keep an eye on that one. And BNZI. Here we go. 1 minute warning for the thing. So there you go. And thank you, Laptop Travel. So yeah, there we go. BNZI. That one's in a good spot. Watch that one, guys. BNZI looking good. PTPI. Let's look at that one real quick. Let me look. BNZI. Yeah, I would say take a look at that bad boy. PTPI here. Let's see. And that one's just kind of setting up. A dip down could be a nice dip and rip situation. GNPX is at Genprex, and that's just pulling back right there. Could be a good bottom. And let's see, we still have a minute right here. BKKT, Backett Holdings, and this one might be trying to just be a little bit of healthy pullback right there. So in that channel, not looking terrible. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one as well. And there you go. I would say that's pretty good. And we'll have to rock and roll through our other ones after the Trump because I think he's going to be coming on really soon here. So let me turn that up and I'll look at some as we're waiting here. But yeah, I'll turn up the sound just so I can hear if he comes on there. All right, yeah, I'll run through some FBGL and AEHL. Let me look at them real quick. Hold on. Let me see. FBGL, let's look at them real quick. FBGL. That's at FBS Global. Still pulling back a little bit. That's at really no one right there. FBGL. And yeah, maybe like I keep saying, maybe it can be its bottom. I think when the market starts curling up, this thing will. It's just kind of trying to curl up. It's very, very slow, and everything is. And what is that? AEHL, the good old antelope right here. And that pulled back today. That was actually looking pretty good. And now it's hitting that MACD pretty hard, AEHL. So we'll have to take a look at that and see if it wants to bounce off of there tomorrow for sure. It's hitting that MACD really good, and it could get bouncing off of there. So keep an eye on that one tomorrow, Scott, right there for sure. And let's see what else is going on here. I think they're still waiting, it looks like. Let me know. Like I said, I have the live Associated Press one up on the YouTube feed, so that's what I have up. So if anyone sees it start and it doesn't start on here, let me know. I'll have to look at something else. But looks like Trump's just standing there, I guess. I don't even know if that's him. Maybe not. I can't even see. I don't know. Maybe not. So yeah, we'll see when it comes on. Let me just see if I can get through a couple more here. And yeah, we'll see what's going on. But I don't think is it on yet? Let me put a new one up. Hold on. Let me put a new feed on here because I've had that one up for a while. I'm not sure if that one's even good. Hold on, let me skip these ads. Oh yeah, they're clapping and stuff now. All right. Glad I did that because that was like way off. Um, let's see what's going on. There's Melania. All right, so we'll watch this bad boy, everybody. And we'll go through it all. She's shaking people's hands. Here we go. Let's watch the old Trump speech. See what he says to Congress. But it looks like Melania is there. She's standing next to some people. I don't even know who them ladies are, but somebody probably invited. I think the one lady is the one girl. One girl they invited. Like got hit in the head with like a volleyball by a trans player and like literally suffered a brain injury. I'm like, wow, I know what that's like. And yeah, it's crazy. Like I just saw that she was going to be a guest tonight. So here we go. They're going to speak. Well, Vance is out there. Here we go, tapping the thing. Here we go at the president's cabinet. And they're all strolling in. And let's see. And Trump just entered the room, huh? So is this feed off a second, I guess? I'm not even sure. What feed do you have on? Because I just have it on the AP one. And let's see, it looks like his cabinet was coming in. So let me know if Laptop Travel, if you have a better feed, just post up a link real quick and I'll pop it up and see if it's a better one right there because I just have the YouTube live feed. I didn't even put my iPad on to see if I probably would have had a faster feed, but I figured I'd watch it on here. And yeah, Mac the Cranky Cook, you got it. And so yeah, we'll see. They look like they're just talking, but and shaking hands. But let me know if obviously if it's off a little bit. I'll try to do it again and see. Oh, yeah, I think they're just shaking hands, but maybe this isn't very fast. I don't know what the heck's going on here. Let me I'll refresh it again. How's that? Let me see. Like I said, it's the AP live feed. It looks like people still coming in. So we'll check it out. Cameras and we're waiting on Trump. So all right. I just have a bunch of people rolling in. I'm gonna grab my iPad real quick and the wife's gonna grab it for me so I can pop it on there real fast. I didn't even put it on, but want to make sure I got the right feed on. Here we go. Let me see what's going on here. So let me pop it on here so we definitely know that we're on point and let me hop on live TV real quick. Give me 1 second. Oh, come on. Of course it doesn't want to come up fast, but yeah, I just got a bunch of people like strolling in here, so I don't know what's going on. Let me It didn't start. Okay. I just popped this one on. Whoa, hold on. Hold on. There we go. I'll pop on Fox right there. See if that's coming on. Skip this. Looks like people shaking hands. Yeah, it didn't start yet because they're still in there. So, let's see. They're standing. They're definitely two different feeds, that's for sure. So I'm not sure. Maybe it'll go to it when obviously it starts up. But I have the live on Fox, and then I have the AP on the Associated Press on the YouTube, and just a bunch of people strolling in here. And so yeah, just that's what they're showing over there as well. So they're just waiting, and I'll go back and knock out some of these other ones real quick while we're waiting because now I have the other feed up, so I definitely know. And here we go. That was Antelope, and looked at a couple real quick, and here we are. Let's take a look and see. And there's Melania. They're showing her on that one. Like I said, I got two different feeds up, so I have Fox up. It looks like JD Vance and somebody standing up there, and then the other one, the AG one, AP Associated Press one live has a bunch of people just like shaking hands. So here we'll go through and we don't have to waste our time with that. Let's see what BCG looks like, and I'll see when Trump comes in, and we'll go back to it. That's a Bin Capital Group, and that one's not looking bad, guys. Trying to curl back up right there for BCG. So yeah, I would say that's not looking bad. I would keep an eye on that tomorrow. That could be a little runner. It might not run 100%, but it could run BOWN. I'm sorry. BOWN, Bowen Acquisition. That's a shell company, and it is looking good. And we know they've been running pretty well lately. BOWN. So keep an eye on that one as well. Looking good right there for the laptop travel list so far. And BTAI, this one ran the other day. I know it did pull back quite a bit. Honestly, didn't even look too bad on. Oh yeah, it was yesterday. It ran up. And that pullback isn't even terrible right there, back to the 20. So not looking too bad for BTAI. We'll see what it wants to do tomorrow, obviously. And that BTC Digital, it was up yesterday. Not looking bad. It pulled back a little bit today. And again, it had that curl up coming up to the MACD, and it's probably going to take another time or two. So we kind of know that, and that is at BTCT, but we will leave it on the list because that'll probably start running once the crypto and stuff starts moving. It did before. BTOG, that ran up big yesterday, and honestly, it doesn't even look that bad. Had some good pullback today, don't get me wrong. And but yeah, it's right there on the 20. We'll see what it wants to do tomorrow, and you guys will be checking that out early in the morning. So that is at BTOG. And let's see, these guys are just kind of piling in here, waiting, and just making sure everything was good. But yeah, it's BTOG and CDE. Let's see, CDE. That's some mining company, or I don't even know, but it's some gold mining company. And again, just a really big curl up right here. So it will be a good one. I don't know if it's going to be popping tomorrow, but definitely one to keep an eye on in the next week or so. I would think that it's getting set up right there. And that DTCK, Davis Commodities, has been jumping around right here, trying to curl up on that 20 and not looking too bad right there for DTCK. And it almost it almost looks like DICK when you look at it, to be honest with you, with DTCK. You never see them letters together, to be completely honest. And so yeah, DTCK, it's at 94 cents. It's over the MACD, and it is kind of just bouncing around today, but I could see it trying to curl back up a little bit right there for DTCK. And here we go with FMTO. Let's see what that's up to, that Femto. And they're still just piling in people. And Femto pulled back, but it's a good pullback onto that 20 right there, FMTO. And I could see it trying to roll back off the MACD in the 20 right there. So not bad for that. And that is FMTO and GLE, that Global Engine Group. Oh, this one's looking really good, guys. I bet this could get moving tomorrow. GLE, and again, might not be a huge popper. That 50's up there at 160. It's at 154, but it's trying to get moving. So maybe it breaks through and gets rolling for GLE. And let's see what GOVX is doing. That was up 22 now. That's one to look at right there, busting through that 20 day and trying to get moving for GOVX. Take a look at that bad boy. I like that. GOVX, guys. I think that could have potential to get up there into like the 190 area. It's at 173. So that one's not looking bad right there for GOVX. And HUDI, good old Hudi. HUDI is like a Huadi International or something like that. And it's coming back, but I think this is going to get cruising. That 20 and 50 are meeting up, and they look really good right there, guys. So keep an eye on this to try to get bouncing. I think that one might be a winner right there tomorrow. Look at HUDI, not looking bad at all. And let's look at HWH real quick. We've been watching this thing and it's getting set up. I would say keep an eye on this HWH as well. It is looking much better and does look pretty decent to try to move there. MGLD, let's see what that's doing real quick. It's just running along there. MGLD, let me see. MGLD. These people are still just piling in. Wow, that's pretty wild. Everyone's just standing around now. Okay, so they're just waiting for Trump, I think. Marigold companies, and this thing's looking really good, guys, making that base. So keep an eye on it and see if it wants to try to move. But it's been making that base, trying to curl up there. I know we've been looking at it, and we'll see Ming Xing Group Holdings, MSW, right here. And that just curled through and not looking bad for MSW. It could stay in that channel and get up to that 634, and it is at 569. So there you go with that. And hold on, let me turn this one off. Oh, oh, here we go. I think he's coming on right now. So MSW right there is where we stopped, and we'll do the rest after we're finished. So it looks like they're coming in right now, and we'll see what's going on. Let's see what's happening. Everyone's the speaker I think's coming. I'm not even sure. It looks like Trump's coming out right now. Yep, Trump's coming out right now. Both of them are pretty much the same feed, so perfect. We're on. Here we go at a little Trump listening party and see what happens as he talks to Congress and see what happens with everybody, the Democrats and everybody in the audience. It should be pretty fun. Look at everybody on the right-hand side sitting there. They are not happy campers over there. They don't look. And we'll see what happens, huh? See what he says because it's definitely going to dictate what happens tomorrow morning. We already know it. It's going to be a reaction and another overreaction and like five reactions. So it's been happening nonstop, and we're going to see it. He's taking his time, shaking everyone's hand, saying hi to everybody, and we'll see when he gets here to talk. Here he comes. Come on in. All right. We could have finished our list probably, I bet, huh? Let's see. I might even be able to run through it. That's MSW. Here we go. I'll look at it and see when he comes up here. MTR, Massive Royalty Trust. Oh, that one looks really good too, guys. Let's look at that bad boy. MTR. I almost just X'd it out of everything. That would have been freaking great if I had just done that. Look at MTR though. That one's looking really good. I noticed PHAT or FAT, whatever it is, PHAT. Yeah, this one was looking pretty good. It was up 37 cents. I know they had their earnings, and it's looking pretty good right now. So keep an eye on PHAT, that PHAT, FAT. It's Phantom Pharmaceuticals. I know we were looking at it the other day, and they just had earnings, or they do tomorrow maybe. Yeah, they do actually Thursday. I'm lying. They have earnings Thursday. So keep an eye on that. That could run up tomorrow and then pull back, but watch it tomorrow for PHAT and RDGT right here. Ridge Tech. Oh, that one ran like crazy today. Is that today? Holy cow. Let me see. RDGT, that one sure did. Oh, wait, hold on. That's not RDGT. It says Ridge Tech. This says a totally different name. I don't even know what the heck's going on here. Now I'm all confused. RDGT. They both say the same thing. One ran up to like 450. So did this one. It's got to be the same thing. I don't know why this says China JoJo Drugstores and the other one says Rich Tech. I have no idea what's going on, but it is a China, so I guess it's all the same damn company. Anyway, it did run. It went 198 to 547. It's at 144 now. So that was a hell of a run. What the heck is going on here? Stupid commercial. Jeez Louise. I don't want to have this happen. I didn't even log into anything. Probably should have, so I wouldn't have commercials. Anyway, he's not talking yet. Here we go. RDGT. Let's see. Like I said, that one ran up today, so we'll have to watch that. RGC. That one is just pulling back, trying to get set up right there. We'll see. It's coming down on that MACD RGC, so I'll have to look at that one for you and see what it wants to do. And let's see what's going on. We'll finish up this list right here. SER, that was down a little bit. SER, let's see. SER, 466 to 489. It's at 488. It must have ran up in the after hours because it doesn't even show any of that. 489 right there. So I don't know when it ran, but it's at 488 right now, it says. So that's SER. He's popping up there. UGRO, UGRO. Let's see what that's doing real quick. That one's popping up. Remember, we were talking about that. And ZOZ, Zoo's Power, that one's jumping up as well. So keep an eye on that tomorrow morning. So there you go with them two. And here we go with our Trump speech. Here we go. All right. Everyone's clapping, and let's get rocking and rolling. Here we go. I don't know which one's the feeds before, but all right, let's see. The right side's clapping, the left side's sitting there. When he was walking down the aisle, they had it the other way around. It was hilarious. You could just see everybody with a sour puss on their face. And then the other side's just like having a party over here. So it's pretty basically exactly how our country operates is right there. We just have no unity or nobody can get along. We can't get nothing done. It's pretty wild. So and I'm just watching the top chat over here. I'm gonna have to click that off, but it's so good. It's like boo 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 dictator USA USA. It's the greatest chat you might ever see in your life. So I'm just gonna make it a big screen so I don't have to see all that craziness. And here we go. Let's see what Trump has to say here.